Major breaking story straight out of Russia. You know, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, the Boy Scouts who never do anything wrong. There was no collusion. It's all just a hoax, a witch hunt. That's what we got told, and that's what happened when the Mueller report said there was no actual clear obstruction or collusion. And yet, things that make you go, over the last 4 to 6 years. Well, in this breaking story, they don't care over in Russia what we know in America. They just want what they want, while Donald continues to believe and try and tell us there was no collusion.
As I've said many times before, I've always said there was no collusion.
Where is the collusion? You know, they're still looking for collusion. Where is the collusion?
In the meantime, no collusion, no obstruction, no collusion, no obstruction.
There is no collusion. You know why? Because I don't speak to Russians.
There was no collusion. There was no nothing. It's a disgrace.
It's a Democrat hoax. Yes, there was absolutely no collusion.
They found no collusion whatsoever with Russia. No collusion. So they find no collusion.
There was no collusion with the Russians. There was nothing.
There was no collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russian people. There was no collusion. There was no obstruction. There was no collusion. And everybody, even my enemies, have said there is no collusion.
There was no collusion. There's no Russia. It was all made up by the Democrats. The Democrats colluded with Russia. There was no collusion whatsoever. There's absolutely no collusion, which is very important.
There was no collusion. There was no obstruction. There's no collusion. There's no anything. And you know the beautiful thing?
No collusion between Donald Trump and Russia. No collusion, no nothing.
There was no collusion. There was a hoax. There was no anything. No collusion. There's no collusion. There's no collusion, and there hasn't been collusion. Today, again, no collusion. The other day, no collusion. There was no collusion.
There is a history here in presidential elections by the Russian Federation, by its intelligence services, and there's plenty of reason to be concerned. And this is not about politics. This is about national security. It is about a foreign country, a foreign adversary seeking to manipulate the politics and democracy of the United States of America. We're going to be vigilant about that, and we will engage the Congress on a bipartisan basis because this should be above and beyond politics.
Isn't it ironic that the party that supposedly cares so much about the military and so much about national security and, oh my God, mass deportation and illegal immigration are the very ones who are the center of this breaking story straight out of Russia and a Putin aide saying this extraordinary. Meanwhile, back in Russia, TASS Russian news agency states Putin's presidential aide Nikolai Patrushev said, in quotes, to achieve success in the election, Donald Trump relied on certain forces to which he has corresponding obligations. As a responsible person, he will be obliged to fulfill them, end quote. Title of the article, Trump to rely on forces that brought him to power, Russian presidential aide states on November 11th, 2024. Nikolai Patrushev agreed that Trump, when he was still a candidate, in quotes, made many statements critical to the destructive foreign and domestic policies pursued by the current administration. In quotes, Patrushev noted, the election campaign is over. To achieve success in the election, Donald Trump relied on certain forces to which he has corresponding obligations. As a responsible person, he will be obliged to fulfill them. Election pledges in the United States can diverge from subsequent actions, he recalled.
The Russia investigation is over.
Headlines like these: Mueller finds no Trump-Russia conspiracy, and Mueller finds no Trump collusion.
I just want to tell you that America is the greatest place on earth.
Yeah, I'm sure at this point Donald Trump does love America, because I cannot fathom, would never have fathomed in my lifetime, that I could watch a man this corrupt, lie this much, have such little content of character, be elected to the presidency of the United States not once, be impeached twice, and get elected again. Remember, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. All those who voted for Trump, shame on you.